It's a fact, my friends, that people are just in total debt. I mean, really bad debt. So here's an example. Let's just say that your mom and dad, well, let's just go back. Let's say your grandma or your grandpa, they had a consumer debt of $5,000, which means including the mortgage, by the way. Now, when they had children, which would be your parents, now they're not $5,000 in debt. They would be $10,000 in debt, which is including the mortgage. Now, we all know that you can't buy a house for $10,000, but I want you to just listen to the numbers. Now, when you come around and you are in debt, you are now going to be close to $20,000 in debt. And when your children when they come around, they will be $40,000 in debt. So in other words, the debt is actually doubling every single year for each generation. So the problem is, who's solving the problem? How to get out of debt? And the answer is nobody. Schools don't teach it. Colleges don't teach it. I mean, nobody. But I can tell you this, I have been teaching it for well over 40 years. Greetings and welcome. My name is John Shepkoff, and I have been teaching people how to be totally debt-free in a few years. And this is your lucky day because I'm not going to charge you a single thing. I'm going to give you a step-by-step how to pay off consumer debt and how to pay off a mortgage debt. So please get something to write with, because otherwise you're going to have to watch this a few times to make sure you get it and understand how to do this. Go ahead and pass this video to your parents, to your brother, your sister, your mom, your dad, your coworkers, any friends, anybody that has any kind of consumer debt or mortgage. I'm going to teach you how to become totally debt-free. So don't be greedy. Pass it on to your friends. Let them see how to do it, not just you, because that's what this is all about, helping other people become totally debt-free. And I have decided to share this completely free at no charge. Now, this is a certain level because there's more advanced levels, and I will charge a very tiny amount, and I'll talk about that. But this right here, I'm going to show you how to get completely out of debt, and including the mortgage, which is really exciting, okay? So number one, consumer debt interest is done daily. For example, credit cards, car loans, student loans, line of credit. What is a line of credit? It's like a second mortgage, but it's a line of credit. So the interest is done daily. So if you have a line of credit, the rule of thumb I tell people is you got to pay it off in 3 years. Otherwise, you're just paying way too much. Well, just to give you a heads up, consumer interest on a credit card or car, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. If you had a 5% interest rate, you multiply it by 3. So that's a 15%. So if you think about that, you're going, oh my goodness, I'm paying a lot of money in interest only to these credit cards. In fact, credit cards make more money than mortgages. And you're going, wow. And you can see now because the interest is multiplied by 3 because the interest is done daily. Whereas a mortgage, it's done yearly divided by 12. So it is totally different. And mortgages have been around forever, like the 1300s, 1500s, it's been around. So a mortgage, what does that mean? Well, a mortgage, you're always 1 month completely in the rear. And you're going, well, I pay my mortgage payment every single month. Yeah, you are, but you're always paying it 30 days behind. So that's how banks make extra money, okay? And I can show you a different method, but I can't do that because that's more advanced. It has a coupon that I developed. And the same thing with my consumer debt. I do have another system with that, especially if you have more than one credit card debt. So what I'm going to teach you, this works fantastic on all your cards, but you can't really compound it the way I want you to do it, because first of all, it's too difficult, too complex. So that, my friends, when it comes to the consumer debt, if you cannot do what you're doing, and I'm going to teach you everything that you need to know, but if you can't get this thing down, you can't figure out how to do this on your own, which I'm going to show you step by step, then contact me. You'll be able to, I'll give you my website, you'll see my phone number, and you can say, you can get involved and say, hey, I just have way too many. I have, 10 credit cards. Hey, John, I need you to teach me. I want you to set it up. I'll put it in a spreadsheet, all that kind of stuff for you. And I show you exactly how to make your payment, which I'm going to teach you today how to make your payment, but it's based off of 1. I can't do it off of 10 because it takes me 2 days to do all the number crunching on credit cards or car payments, student loans, you name it. Then I have a mortgage program, the same thing. It takes me, so what do I charge? I charge a very marginal, very small amount, $50 to do each one of those that you said. If you can't do what I'm going to teach you right now, you can do this, I promise you. But if you have more, then it's more complicated, all right? So again, mortgage debt is actually done yearly, all right, divided by 12. And consumer debt is actually done daily, and that's where all these banks make it. So here's an example. Hopefully you have a piece of paper, and again, you can pass this video on to every single person who has any kind of debt, because they too would like to get out of debt. So please pay attention, write these notes, because I'm going to show you exactly how to pay off this. So let's say, for example, you have a credit card payment that you pay $100 every single month. That's the minimum payment. And by the way, on $5,000 in consumer debt on a credit card will take you approximately 25 years, 7 months. And the reason why is because you're only paying that $100 minimum payment, because remember, you're paying all that interest. You think you're going to get paid off in a few years, but you won't. I promise you. I have helped hundreds and hundreds of people, and I've showed companies where they were like over $2 million. This was a doctor's firms. I helped him. He was never getting out. He had paid his business for over 10 years. And he said, John, I'm not getting out of debt. I can't figure it out. I'm making the payments, but my payments are exactly the same that I started out with 10 years ago. And so once I showed it, I looked at it, I put it all together, and he was starting to pay it off within 3 to 4 months, and he was so excited, and the bank managers got mad at him because they didn't like what he was doing, which is what? He was actually getting out of debt. So example, go back to this again. You have a credit card, and let's say your payment is $100. What I want you to do is divide that by 4. It's very simple. When you divide that, what is that? It's $25. And if you multiply 25 times 4, that's $100, right? Okay. I want you to you're going to be making payments on this, but you're going to do it a little bit different. So the first month is the hardest to get started. Why? Well, first of all, you got to pay, number one, you got to pay that $100 right up front. Okay. You got to pay it. There's no getting around it. You got to pay the first $100, and you got to be consistent. Meaning, if you pay always on the first, you got to pay exactly. You got to put it on a calendar, put it on a spreadsheet, whatever it takes. You listen to exactly what I'm saying, because this is really important. Because if you don't, you're going to pay too much money in interest to the bank. So you make your first payment of $100. And remember, the first month is the hardest. The second month, it's easy. So it's going to be a little complicated here, but not by much. Trust me, just listen, pay attention, and do exactly. You make your $100 first of all, okay? And then what's going to happen? You're going to wait 7 days, and you're going to make $50. And you go, well, what's with the $50? Remember I said $25? Multiply that first number by 2, and that equals what? $50. So you paid the $100 the first week. You wait 7 days. You're going to pay $50, right? Then you're going to wait 7 more days, and you're going to pay $25. Now, how much is that? 50 plus 25 is $75. You with me so far? You're going to wait another 7 more days, and you're going to pay another $25. Now, how much is that? Now that is actually $100. So now you are $100 ahead, and you are now compounding. This is important to you, okay? The next month is going to be easy, okay? All you do is you're going to start out with, you're going to pay $50. The net, you're going to wait 7 days. You're going to pay $25. That's what? So that's $75. You're going to pay another $25. You're going to wait 7 days, 25. So what is that? That's 50 plus 25 plus 125. That's what? That's $100. You've now paid it. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to get this thing paid off in approximate, somewhere around 15 plus years instead of 25, 7 months, which is a huge difference. Now, the only way to get it paid even more fast, well, that's where I come in. I can even dial it in and get you paid off even quicker, but I charge $50 for that, okay? That's a little bit more complex, but you can't do it. I have to do all the number crunching. I put it in a spreadsheet. I show you exactly how to make those payments. And this would be multiples. Now, if you only have one credit card or you have one car payment, you don't need me. Okay, right up front, you don't need me, okay? But if you have multiple credit cards, so if you have, let's say, 7 credit card debts and you have a car payment, well, you really need me because I'm the only one that can put this thing together because I can put it together and show you exactly how to make the payments. And what you want to do, here's the bottom line. You want to pay off your consumer debt first, okay? Not fret, first, okay? You want to pay that off. So in other words, any credit cards, any student loans, any line of credits. Now, remember, line of credits should be paid faster than 3 years. It's very, very important. If you go beyond 3 years, you are shooting yourself in the foot, my friends, and you don't want to do that. So what you need to do is get that debt, consumer debt, paid off very quickly. And once you pay that off, then guess what? Then you're going to start paying off on your mortgage. And there I have another program there, and I only charge you $50 because it takes me a few days to put it all together. I have a coupon that forces the bank how to stop fronting the payment. And if any bank tells you that they don't front load the payment, they're lying to you. That's a bold lie. Okay, even what I teach you, okay, I can get you up to 90%. I can't get you 100% of that extra principal going into your mortgage. But if you did it on your own, you're only going to get about 25%. So I'm getting you a lot higher, closer to that 100%. All right? So when you pay that consumer debt, all right, what's going to happen is you are now 1 week for the last month. So in other words, you've made 3 payments. Remember, 50, 25, and 20. You've only made 3 payments, but you made the $100. You have 1 week of no payment, right? So when you think about that, you're now ahead. You're compounding this completely, which you can do it on your own, and you just start over the next month, and you do it the same way. You pay them 50, wait 7, you pay them, wait 7 days, you pay them another 25, wait 7 days, and you pay them 25. And then toward the end of the month, you've got a whole week that you're left off, and you are ahead. You're actually ahead by 1 week, okay? And you're going to pay off this credit card off very quickly, very fast. And you didn't even pay him any extra money. Yeah, you paid him, you had to get started, the compound, but you're going to go from a 25 years, 8 months to around 15 years plus. Now, if you want to pay it off sooner, you're going to have to get my help because I have to compound that. It takes me about 2 to 3 days to put it all together because it's a lot of number crunching that I have to do, but I teach you exactly how to do it. But again, if you just have one bill, like a credit card, then you don't need me, okay? But if you have more than one credit card, you have like student loans, credit cards, car payments, line of credit, you have to get me to put this together because it's the only way I can do it. You can't do this on your own. It's too complicated, and I can't explain it for you to do it because you wouldn't understand the compounding system. So, but if you have just one, absolutely you can do this by yourself. Now, let's talk about mortgage debt, okay? What I'm going to do is teach you basically a biweekly payment. Now, I go beyond where I teach people also how to pay off a mortgage in approximate 7 to 9 years. But this is a biweekly, but you're going to do it yourself. And so what happens is you're going to save yourself over 37 payments of interest going to your hip pocket instead of giving it to the bank. So how do we do this? It's really simple. This is an example. So let's just say you have a mortgage payment of $3,200. What you're going to do is divide that by 12. And then what happens is you're going to add $267 each month to your payment. You're going to give that to your bank. All right. And so what happens is you've now started the compounding. So instead of paying it off in 30 years, you're now going to get this thing paid off in 21 years, 7 months. That's fantastic. You have saved yourself a tremendous amount of interest on that. You've saved yourself literally thousands of dollars, and you did it all by yourself. So what you've done is added actually one full payment to your loan per year. That's all you did, is gave them one full payment. But you did it by what? You divided that payment by 12, and you added that, and you gave that to your mortgage company every single month, just clockwork. Now, they're not going to like you doing that because they're going to say, well, we can do our own biweekly, go through our system. Well, first of all, if you do that, then you're losing out all that interest that you can be putting in your own hip pocket instead of giving it to the bank, because in essence, you're giving it to the bank. Now, here's the other thing I want you to know. There's not a company in the world that can accept a bi-weekly payment. I'm telling you, I've been teaching people for 40 years. They tell you can. That's not true. What they're doing is they're dividing that up, and they're getting basically 7 days of interest on your money. Well, think of it, if they have over, $100,000 or $20,000 or $50,000, how much millions of dollars they're putting in their own pocket. So do it the way I'm telling you. Take the payment, divide it by 12, take that, add that to the payment, and you give it to your mortgage company, and now you'll go from 30 years to 21 years, 11 months on that. So it's really simple. 21 years, 7 months is actually when you actually get this thing paid off. Again, I'm John Shepkoff. I've been doing this for over 40 years. Now, you're probably thinking, well, I wish I could pay a little extra. And I'm going to tell you, you can. If you were to go to my website, I can show you, because you can also go there and look at it. And I'm going to show you how you can earn extra money without actually bringing a single person, and you will get paid every single day for the rest of your life. In fact, not only will you get it, but you can give this to your children give it to their children. So once you get into it, your whole family members, they will always get paid every single day for the rest of your life. And you can just go to my website. There it is. They're actually going on the NASDAQ. This is a fantastic company that I am. You don't have to sponsor a single person. I'm sharing this with you so that you can actually get paid every single day. And I mean every single day. It's not hard to do. You don't have to sponsor a single person, not one. Just do it for yourself. Now, if you want to pass this on to your friends and family, then of course, then what will happen is you will make a little bit of money because you brought someone in. But think of how much money they will make for themselves that they will get paid for the rest of their lives. Again, I'm John Shepkoff. I welcome your call. You will see my phone number as well. When you go to the website, take your time because the website has a lot of educational videos that you will learn everything on it. And I put it that way on purpose because I wanted to show you everything completely up front so you know exactly what it is. And so that when you opt in, then you can actually get, you'll be able to put your username, your password in it, and you can actually get started. And again, you don't have to bring a single person in order to get paid every single day. Take care, and I'll talk to you real soon.